All right, welcome. Today is Monday, April 29th. How y'all doing today? My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you solve your immigration problem, or maybe even preventing the problem from happening in the first place, folks. There are too many problems with our immigration system in America. So that is why we go live. We help you live and work in America legally by securing your legal status, folks. So welcome to drop your question in the chat box, the comment section, or even share your experience. We love it when we want to create a community here where people feel comfortable to share what's going on, good or bad. Okay, because I try my best to answer your questions, but there are also some people here in the community that love to share information. Okay, love to protect um, our channel here, and I appreciate that a lot, especially people when there's situations that people are trolls. Who has time for those trolls? So, all right, let me see here. So, topic of the day. So, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I usually have a topic of the day for about 5 minutes or so, and then I answer those questions for y'all. Okay. So, the first thing, what to do when your case gets delayed. First of all, you might not know exactly when your case is delayed. You might think, well, it's just taking a hell of a long time. It's way more time than you expected. Okay, so that's totally understandable. Because especially when the 2023 trend, for at least for marriage cases, when someone is in the United States, the immigrant, and you enter the visa, okay, unless you qualify for an exception or something, then there's been some cases, a good amount of cases. I don't know percentage wise, but at least for us, a high number of cases where the interview was waived. And when the interview is waived, and then the what's it called, the case is approved in like 3 to 5 months, you might be thinking, well, John, that's awesome, but you might be have the mistaken belief that that could be the same for 2024 and beyond. Before 2023, these marriage cases, when someone is in the United States and arrived with a visa, they generally took about 12 months. Okay, and the interview always happened, right? So it's a great thing that USCIS has waived the interviews, but check it out. Do not be scared. Don't be scared if interviews get scheduled, because that's traditionally what happens. And our team at Ting Law Group is here to serve you and to make sure you get your legal status. Okay. And that includes representing at the interview, preparing you for the interview. Some of y'all had a bad experience with other attorneys and have told me this before, that you had an interview, and whether it went well or not, you were like, ultimately went well or not, but you're like, man, your law firm or your lawyer didn't really prepare you for it. This is what we do. Okay. So you have an idea. And I'm going to answer some questions and go back to the topic of the day. But some of y'all think like, might think like, oh, maybe this is normal. But this is what we do at Team Law Group. Okay. As soon as we receive the latest, sometime we're able to try to do it earlier, provide you a link to our series of videos that prepare you. We realized, to be honest, like, why do we have to repeat the same advice over and over? Okay. Because that can save y'all a lot of time. All right. Y'all don't have to come up and I don't want to say make up, but like, we already know the questions that most people ask because we wrote it down. So I compiled that recorded as a video series, but that's part one, step number one. But step number two, as part of our service related to interviews, before the actual interview, is to ask you, I don't know, we don't ask, we tell people, we tell clients, self-schedule a meeting, okay, with our attorneys. All right. That's very, very important, because I do recall one time where the spouse was actually helping two spouses, a married couple, I mean, and one of them showed up to the interview. One of them showed up to the meeting to prepare, okay, and the other one did not. And I get it, they're working, but it turned out the one that did not had an issue, because that's what the meeting's for, is to just quadruple last opportunity to verify certain things. That client ended up lying to me in the past, because if I had known that information, who knows, it may not have filed for that person. It ended up working out for that client. By the way, we ended up be able to file a waiver in a timely manner fought waiver is 30 days in that scenario when there's already an interview. Able to get it done, able to help him get a green card. But look, you want to tell your attorney the truth as early as possible. Okay. So they're fully aware of your situation. Um, because rather your attorney, look, it makes sense for you to tell your attorney because you don't want a situation where you may have told a white lie to your attorney. And yeah, you consider it a white lie because you're like, oh, immigration's not going to know. They typically know. Okay. They just somehow know. And even if it's like they would not normally know, but somehow at the interview, you get tripped up and you're like, oh, shoot, I feel like I got to tell the truth. Okay. Tell your lawyer first, please. Okay. So then we don't look like a fool during the interview. All right. It just makes sense to tell your attorney. So even if you have a lawyer now, this advice can help you as well. All right. Let's see here. So, of course, I have way more to share, but now specifically back to the topic of the day: what to do when your case gets delayed. And again, you might not know exactly when that time period is, and that's okay. If you go to our website, greencardguys.com, we do have a free guide, okay, about mandamus, about case delays. All right. On YouTube, you can see this image right here. Is you'll recognize it on our website, Mandamus Sue for Status. So you're gonna download that. Yes, we do ask for your email. I think that's just the only way it allows us to online. All right, so download that. You'll get an idea of the timing wise, or just schedule a meeting. Now, the best way to do that is right up here on TikTok, at least. All right, on your respective channel, find the profile page, about page, and there's a link so that you can schedule a meeting already with our client care specialist. All right. So please know, the client care specialist is not an attorney. I know there's been a couple of people that get a little frustrated, like, oh, I thought I was meeting an attorney. No, I mean, if you found me live here, I say this every live show, you're not meeting with an attorney in the first meeting. It's with our client care specialist because I train the team every day. So please, if you talk with them, by the way, and you're like, John should know that this person needs a little more feedback, please share. Please share with me. I see the DMs, okay, at least on TikTok. It's easier for me to see there. But if so, there have been a couple of rude people and they're like, no, I don't want to talk to the attorney. Well, okay, well, if you definitely want to talk to the attorney, you got to pay a traditional consult fee. Okay. That's just how it works with most law firms I know. All right, now going to some questions here. I'm sorry, the topic of the day: what to do when your case gets delayed for a 485 application and the 765 and the 131 and even the I-130. You can ask for. I'm sorry, not the 485. The I-130, 765, and I-131 with USCIS. You can request expedite request. Okay. The first way I recommend is through Emma, the website chat. Whenever we've used it, we believe it's a human on the other side. Maybe the first question or two is not a human. Think of it as like any other company, like your cell phone provider. Like at first is automated, but after that should be a human. I would hope so. Okay. If that doesn't work, then call in. Okay. But they do not allow, USCIS does not allow expedite requests for 485. If that changes, folks, please let me know. All right. Please keep me updated. All right. So, okay. So that's a very unfortunate thing. They don't allow for 485. So that's ultimately what you want for someone who's in America. Um, Now, if you're abroad and you have I-130 pending and your sponsor is a U.S. citizen and it's been 12 months at least, you definitely need to try to submit an inquiry update request, expedite request. Okay. Yes, you do need specific reasoning. Okay. And unfortunately, being pregnant alone is not enough because hell, that could be not going. That's a great thing, right? That could be a lot of people. But expedite request, if it gets denied, gets declined by USCIS, I know the first emotion you're gonna have is you're frustrated, right? But please remember, number one, I don't work for USCIS. I've never worked for USCIS. But please remember, the expedite request was created because of the pandemic. It's no longer a pandemic. At least in Texas, we don't. In Texas, it's almost like we didn't act like there was a pandemic at all here. California did. I know Californians, red or blue, are pissed off about that still. But anyways, but if you have a case abroad, National Visa Center also allows expedite request, but they don't prominently display that information on their website. Go figure. Um, so we've been successful in that. Now, keep in mind other things that if those don't work, and it's a timing that the last option here is to file a lawsuit. Okay. Now, for us, we don't say yes, yes, yes to everyone who is gung ho and ready to file a lawsuit. We would love to, but just provide you realistic expectations here. Lawsuit does not work for everyone because of timing, right? The timing is different depending on your application that you filed and depending on the stage of the case. Okay. So, a lot of y'all want to join the live. I don't think y'all did that on accident. Hope y'all doing well. Where y'all watching from, by the way? Okay, I know y'all have questions. I will answer them very soon. At least one more thing I want to share about these lawsuits is that we verify if it meets our internal timing. Okay, so for example, if your asylum has been pending for at least 4 years, then yes, say yes. We're happy to offer a quote for services, and we'll help you. Fortunately, at least with asylum, for most of our applications have had high success rate. Not for everyone, because it depends on timing also. All right. But for Mandamus, waiting for interview is 4 years minimum. That's the clear timing that we've experienced. Let's see here. All right, now to answer your questions. Thank you so much for your trust. Test 007 asks, does US have something called Affordable Care Act for immigration? No. Affordable ACA under President Obama does not include for undocumented immigrants or persons. Kenneth on YouTube asks, when is the best time to file a mandamus lawsuit on a delayed family-based AOS case? That is at the timing of filing the 485 application. So you say AOS, it's likely like the same time as everything else. Then we would say 18 months. Okay. I know some of y'all are ready, like after 5 months, ready to go, but 18 months, we've gotten no pushback when it's 18 months. We've even had times, very few times, but I can recall at least 3 clients in the past year that signed up with us and then somehow that same day got the approval or got something, right? Maybe got RFE, but I think every time has been approval, thankfully for them, right? That's great. We will actually refund you. Like we didn't file a lawsuit, right? Like, generally, we're pretty quick on it, but some people like so if that's a concern for you, you should not worry about that. Like I know some law firms will be really sticklers on that, but that doesn't make sense for us to keep your money if like we didn't have a chance to file a lawsuit. And sometimes, um, depending where you live, we need to hire local counsel. We need to engage with local counsel because they have certification in that court. Now you might wonder, well, why would you still authorize and work with Ting Law Group when you may need to authorize work with some other person? Because I've looked around, asked my colleagues like, hey, how much do you charge? I think we charge a reasonable fee. I think their fees are reasonable as well, but they're more than us. They're more than what we charge. And they still help to file your case. The thing is that they don't want to handle the customer service part. We do, right? So we're happy to do that, happy to update you every step of the way. And we update you even before something happens. Okay, generally speaking, we let you know what to expect the next steps. All right, so that's a key difference between us and other law firms. We actually update you. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm going to switch back and forth between the different platforms. Thanks so much for your questions. It does give me a boost to answer your question to get on live. So tap the screen or hit the like button on your respective platform, the hearts. It does give me a little boost. I've been told not to care about that kind of stuff, but it does honestly give me a little boost like anything else because I almost thought about not going live. just because there's so much going on today. All right, let's see. All right, now I'm going to answer Maid Lady on TikTok. Hello, your green card is expired. Can you get married or should you renew first? Well, well, how did you get your legal status to begin with? Your green resident status. Your green card expired doesn't mean you have to go through the whole process again necessarily. Is your unless you meant to ask it a different way, is your how did you get in the first place? Um, did you get it through marriage, or like a first, like a prior marriage, and you got separated or divorced, and what's the situation? Because if that's the case, you can through a prior marriage, you need to file remove conditions. So hot tip here: some people think like, do I need to file the I-90 or 751? And it depends on how you got your status to begin with, and your current status or expired status. So if you have conditional residence status, you need to file an application to remove those conditions. Think of it like probation, I guess. Um, and then when you file the application, so y'all might also be worried that, oh, it's already expired. Does that mean like, can I travel or anything? You will, when you get the receipt notice and you file it, okay, you're supposed to get an extension, automatic extension notice, okay, or a notice with the automatic extension for 48 months. So this is, of course, as of 2024. Let's see here. Thanks for the follow, folks. Really appreciate it. Where's my tie? Oh, I don't like wearing ties unless I'm literally in court. Um, but thanks for asking, I guess. So that's the thing, folks. If you're looking for a lawyer that wears a tie all the time, to be honest, I'm not that person. I don't know if you're just messing with me or what, but let's see here. Okay, DA on TikTok. Um, I mean, by the way, even CEOs don't really wear ties. CEOs don't like of corporations don't wear ties, so I think that's kind of interesting. Um, and the thing is, folks, y'all gotta be in just like as to be as sincere as possible. If you really are looking for an attorney to help you to guide you all the way to get your legal status, of course, number one, it'll be our pleasure. But number two, you need to review their Google reviews. And so if I wear a tie, okay, this is the last time I'll talk about it, but if I wear a tie, anyone else could wear a tie. Wearing a tie does not necessarily mean someone's a lawyer, right? A licensed lawyer. So you need to read the Google reviews, search them online. Don't only just go on based on the social media profiles. I mean, I appreciate y'all schedule a meeting and all that and authorizing us to help you, but ultimately you still need to read the Google reviews, just like a restaurant. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, back to DA on TikTok. Your mom's maiden name is on your Colombian birth certificate and passport, but not on GC. Possible naturalization problem? No, I don't think so. Every application, as far as I know, has like first and last name, right? Middle name, and then below that, other names used. Okay, so I would utilize that box. Okay, but your green card depends how you put your green card. Yeah, I mean, so I guess the other way you could phrasing that question is, will it be a problem if you did not update your passport with your married name? And yeah, that's fine. I think that's normal to not update with I think that's appropriate. I mean, the birth certificate, of course, you're not going to update that one, but the passport, yeah, I would think that's not necessary. That's not a naturalization issue. Okay, that would prevent you. Now, identity is definitely important to verify. Alrighty. How y'all doing today? Happy Monday. Um, if anyone asks questions about like what are the pricing now of USCIS applications, I just don't have that off the top of my head. I do have a checklist somewhere, but I've got so many tabs open. Stoop is dope. on TikTok, I think they're going to speed up citizenship applications before election? Hell yeah, I think so. I mean, honestly, they've been doing that for the last couple of years, speeding up naturalization applications from filing all the way to biometrics to interview and then the oath ceremony. Yep, I sure think so. All right, now to switch over to YouTube here. Y'all on Instagram are shy. Beatrice, God bless you as well. Matthew Ramos, good afternoon. You lost your status 2 years ago with G1 holder. What are you going to do since your visa expired July 2020? Is there any chance you can apply for a visa? So it sounds like you're in America, is my assumption. That's tough, okay? That's tough because you have unlawful presence. So unless you file for asylum for any reason, then that would stop the unlawful presence if you file that timely. Okay. Um, you could have a company sponsor you, but then you're still going to run into the issue about unlawful presence. You'll need a qualifying relative. But stay tuned, Maffey Ramos. We're going to find a way, folks, to invite y'all to a webinar. Okay, because the question, like Mr. and Mrs. Ramos, um, it's more for a webinar because it's more in depth I can go into. So if you're wondering, like, if I did answer your question to some extent, but you're like, it could be more information. Yeah, probably. It's just I'm just trying to go through a lot of questions here one by one. Lucky Girl, good afternoon on YouTube. Is it true that a K3 can be filed after filing standalone I-130 to allow foreign spouse to wait out the process in the U.S., or is it a waste of time? Yeah, we've done that. A lot of law firms do that as well. There's no. I wish there was a chart that all of us could share with each other. Like, hey, especially with this service center, this is how long it's taking, or ultimately, like the interview date or approval date between K3 petition versus I-130 petition. Yeah, I wish we all shared a chart, but it's hard for me to say is it a waste of time or not. It may depend. I mean, you'll find out hopefully soon, depending when the first one is approved. It's all at the end of the day. It's all about the time. Everyone wants to come into America sooner, but even if you come in sooner with the K3 or K1, you need to go through another phase, and that's filing 485 after arrival. So some people might think, oh well, I got proof of the fiance visa or K1, K3, but you come in America, you're like, well, where's my work permit? That's not how it works. You selected a hypothetical option. I mean, not hypothetical option. The option exists, but I say hypothetical is because there's no guarantee that K3 petition or K1 petition is going to be faster than through marriage. Right now, I can at least say confidently that K1 takes longer when than a marriage visa through the I-130. Hello, Yazan. Is sending emails to the embassy making them take in consideration your application when there's AP F1? They still have your passport. You know nothing about the app. Yeah, they probably don't know anything about the app either. Also, is winning lottery will affect your application when it's under AP? Let me answer the first one, I think. I wouldn't email them every day. So the way you phrase your email sounds like it sounds like a very frequent situation. Look, I mean, folks, I mean, I know we have clients email us. Like we set it up to where like we have an automated rule to draft an email. Now it's not AI. I've already created this email, but it just helps us to remind us to reply back to you. So, and we of course we customize it after that. But I imagine that USCIS or Department of State does not. Well, I know Department of State they have the automated emails, but not. I don't know why it's not for every embassy or consulate. And that's the thing, folks. You have to recognize if it's automated or not, because everyone's in background check or 221G if you're waiting after the interview. Okay. And if they have your passport, that's not a clear indication that they're going to issue your visa like next week. I mean, you're hoping for that, of course, but yeah, it's just not a clear cut. I've even had received an inquiry from one of y'all here that someone they've been holding passport and it's been like 120 days and you need to travel to maybe you had a vacation paid for before, so don't wait till last minute to ask for the passport back because you need to travel. And so that's another key reason to email them something substantive. And so whatever that time will be, I would at least plan for in advance 1 month before, because look, they're just because they have your passport does not mean they're going to issue a visa. I think that's a bad assumption. All right, Tyrone, what's up? Good day to you. Your I-130/45 is pending, and from 2020 in July, it would make it 2 years. Crap. Well, 2 years. Sounds like way more than 2 years since you said 2020. 4 years, right? Almost 4 years. Three and a half, at least. Do I think you just sit it out, wait for the 2 year mark, or before? Why do you say 2 years when you did you mean to say 2022? Either way, even if your case is 2022 filed, you should really consider filing a lawsuit when it's a 485 application. Okay, anything over 18 months, you really should consider it, because Tyrone or anyone else in a similar situation, look, y'all already paid the fee for the USCIS fee. I mean, hope you have the work permit, but especially if you don't have a work permit, you definitely need to file a lawsuit. Okay. With our guidance, we're happy to help you. It'd be our pleasure. There's many. Not every immigration attorney helps with this, by the way. But we believe, of course, our customer service is top notch. That's evidenced by the over 300 5-star reviews. So y'all don't have to wait and wait and wait. Okay, that's a really bad assumption that the government's going to make a decision for you like tomorrow or next week. You know what? Like if USCIS had something, or Department of State had some kind of status that they could show online and say, "Oh, background check complete, entering last phase, entering the phase of issuing you a decision." Sure, that'd be great. Let's hold off the lawsuit. But they don't have that, folks. There's nothing that indicates to you when is a good time to wait. Only our internal, we only have our internal chart, but USAS or State Department does not have anything like that for you. Okay, it's very unfortunate. All right, now let me hop over to Sunflower Smiles. You said yours is stuck. How long have you been waiting? Maybe you did comment that earlier. Nina, do you need a lawyer to file A64? So A64, folks, is the affidavit of support form. Look, if you're going to hire a lawyer for anything, you might as well hire for the whole thing. But if you're in a situation where you think you only need a lawyer for the A64, I mean, if it's a request for evidence situation, we're happy to help. But the amount we charge is still, I think, like half than what we charge for the whole case generally, to help with this for all the rest of the steps. Okay, assuming you're like in the middle of the case. But but yeah, that's, if you're only hiring for that only and you didn't file, I'm suspecting you're in the RFE stage. Okay, so, but you're having trouble, then yeah, we offer that service. And related to this is just sharing a story here. Um, we've had, the A64, you see multiple forms available related to affidavit support on the USCIS website. They're all very similar, but they're each used for a different reason. Okay. Now, some concerns, especially if you own your own business, you got your own side hustle, and maybe your side hustle actually provides more income than your day job, your W-2 job. You need to talk to immigration attorney and a tax person, accountant, or tax person to understand how to document your income when you have your own company. because USCIS, even though like IRS, for example, they accept the K-1 form, okay, but for like partnership form, even if you didn't have a partner, but that's just how you tax yourself. Yeah, USCIS doesn't understand that. Okay, they don't understand that. Um, and because K-1, when people do tend to do that, they tend not to do like a W-2. To each their own. I don't recommend that, but I do recommend if you're a business owner, just a side tip that you pay yourself a W-2. I had to learn it the hard way. Okay, so I'm just sharing extra tip here, but you don't want a situation where you get an RFE about finances and you're like, I thought my finances are all good. So someone with the stars, twinkle stars in a hand. You want to get into immigration law and humanitarian law in the future. Incoming L1L and DE. DE, is that Delaware? Cool. Yeah, send me a DM. Happy to share anything I can. Thanks for thanks for the comment here. Wish you all the best. Uh, okay, Claudia, the 485. I usually don't go through like questions on the forms, but this one in particular, I'm happy to do that. Okay, so let me pull up the form just in case. As well as a 485 application. Okay, and that is towards the end. So this is what you say, part 8. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, generally speaking, as for the question is from Claudia, for anyone that can't see the comment, of course, is on the 485 application, part 8, when they ask about criminal acts, is it about in USA only or abroad? Anything, really, any crime, any arrest, anywhere, okay? So it's about everywhere, okay? Everywhere. They want to know. Because for just a silly example, someone may have committed murder abroad, but if it didn't ask specifically about America or about abroad, then of course they want to know that. So I know it sounds silly, but that's a little dramatic example to share why that they want to know everywhere. Okay. There are some questions that mention specifically in the United States, but that's like about exporting or whatnot, violating laws about exporting. Okay, let's see here. Thank you for asking. Someone asked a question about you enter the U.S. at the age of 17. You have a U.S. citizen parent. Can you file N-600, be a citizen? So you have to be a resident first. Okay. Some people think you can apply for N-400, N-600 first, and that's not how it works. You have to be a resident first. I think it's silly, but I have to do step by step. But you want to verify, okay, with an attorney, immigration attorney 101. This is just a quick thing, just trying to answer quickly without knowing all the facts here. So I have to tell you, based on my state bar, I have to tell you this is information only. If you want to have legal advice specific to your situation, you do need to schedule a meeting with the attorney 101. Let me switch over. A lot of people mention answer you me please. Like there's no need to mention that. Okay, like to be honest, I'm like less likely to answer you if you do say answer me please. Like I'm going in the order I receive the questions. So and I'm going. You may think I'm skipping you, but I'm really not, or I might on accident, but it's on accident. Okay, and also um, also, it just takes away, like, I have to read the comment. It's more decision-making time that's lost. Okay. Sonia on YouTube, you got your green card in 2018, October, traveled outside of states in November 2018, returned back to the States September 2019. Okay. Ooh. You've been physically present since then, but when can you apply for citizenship? So, I mean, generally speaking, if it's a 3-year, 5-year rule. So if you're I don't know how you got your green card status, but let's just assume it's not through a spouse. Then it's a 5-year look back. Okay. So if it's based on 5-year rule, then you can apply at 4 years and 6 months. So even if you took a trip that may have overlap, let's say like you said, no, return November 2018, that's 4 years, right? So you're already way past 4 years, 5 year, 4 years and 6 months. Oh, 19. Yeah, so it sounds like seems like you're already eligible at this point, but I'm not, I'm just doing quick math here. All right, welcome to the show, folks. My name is John Ting. If you're new to the channel, and we're here at greencardguys.tv. And if you're interested for representation, you're welcome to, or if you just think you have that one question, but you have a feeling like you ultimately might need a lawyer anyway, go ahead and fill out the form. Click on the respective profile page and click on a link. It's going to ask you just a few questions, but then also you have to pay this amount. Okay, just to be upfront, this amount considered a reservation fee, like a hotel, because there's been a couple bad apples that scheduled but didn't show up, and that takes away from our time, our limited time to help you to verify your eligibility for a certain thing. So yeah, we now ask for that. I mean, most law firms charge triple digits, so 3 digits anyway. All right, let's see here. Junior is IOE case faster to approve compared to other service center? Not necessarily. It may depend on your case. I don't know all those facts, but let's see. Can B1, B2 visa change the status to green card holder? Yeah, it's possible, but depends who your sponsor is. And I would not wait till the last second to verify that. Yes, Shady, you on Instagram, you can ask a question right there. Shady Tots, you can ask a question. Don't be shy. You can go ahead and ask a question. You don't have to ask if you can. I try to look at all the platforms, but y'all on Instagram are a bit shy. I hear this thing that TikTok. I mean, oh, oops, that there's certain platform. This particular one down here. If I'm not pointing to you, then you know which one I'm talking about. This one right here. The algorithm is not that good. Have y'all heard that? I'm kind of interested. I don't know all this thing about social media. I'm just trying to answer your questions. Let's see here. Let me go back up. City or Abo City on YouTube. What are the likely questions to be expect on asylum granted interview with USCIS 485? I mean, there's a lot, but I can tell you that bulk of it in general for anything related to 45 is about the security, like part 8 of the 485 form, security and related section, general eligibility and inadmissibility grounds. Okay, and they might you might have an officer that even ask about the asylum claim, even though they're not supposed to. They could, and if they do ask, that's a red flag. Okay, because I believe one of the main reasons why they delay the processing of 485 based on asylee is because they're going back in time to make sure. Because unfortunately, there's been, I mean, I don't know the amount, but there's been a lot of scams, fraudulent asylum applications that end up getting approved, but then at the 485 stage, they get denied. So you just wanna be careful there, okay? So if y'all, I'm not pointing fingers here, but if you're all one of those that may have gotten lucky in the sense that you got approved and you were like, yeah, I think my application was a bit shaky because maybe you didn't tell the truth, then yeah, just keep in mind your 485 application could get denied, and you definitely want to have a lawyer ready to help you if needed. Bernadette, still missing invoice number and to to pay the visa and keep sending through email through public inquiry. Yeah, that pesky little box there on NVC page, but no response. Can you go to Manila Embassy to pay visa? Well, they have an invoice number there. They likely would not have it there. I mean, you could try, but you said Manila. That sounds like I know they have a lot of applicants, so I don't know the process just getting through the door. I suspect that any embassy or consulate, you need an interview notice. Okay, but I could be wrong because every embassy and consulate could do things slightly differently. But but we do for attorneys. We have an email directly for NVC. Fortunately. So this again, this is one of those situations like, can I guarantee that? Oh, because you may have a lawyer that things are gonna be faster. We do have some connections in certain scenarios. I can't promise like NVC or the Department of State will reply in X time, but generally it tends to be faster than when someone who did not have a lawyer, the response time. Uh, Yellow Mong on TikTok. Is it possible to marry someone with no paperwork and get them a green card? Yeah, it is possible, but we would need to verify did they enter a visa? If they didn't enter a visa, do they qualify for an exception? And if they didn't qualify for exception, then we have to consider a waiver application. So there's a lot to go through. Our team is Yellow Limong. Happy to look at it with you. Okay, verify that. Okay, it says connection lost on their TikTok. But you can go to profile page on TikTok and under my picture is a link. Just answer a few questions. You can self-schedule. Okay, thank you so much for the questions. All right, now on Instagram here. What's up, Shady Tots? If you're in removal, you're all funny asking if you are in the situation. But let's just say your homie. If your homie is in removal with no court date and your I-130 is approved, what is the next step? Do you assist to get the green card? Absolutely. We are here to help you or your loved one live and work in America legally, okay? By securing your legal status. So absolutely. In this scenario, Shady Tots, this is what happens. Step number one, we get a copy of that approval letter. We contact the DHS, Department of Homeland Security attorneys, and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is an update. This is what we're asking for. Okay, we're asking for a joint motion to dismiss. So do you agree to this or not? And here's the proof of why we're asking for you. Okay, so no court date, that's okay. To some extent, I mean, one good thing is that like if you needed a hire attorney ASAP, then at least you don't have a court date coming up. But generally, the Department of Homeland Security does delay in responding to people who don't have a court date yet. So, and that's not your fault. That's not your spouse's fault. But when there's a marriage case, a petition or VAWA, for example, and it's pending or approved, it's been able to work successfully. Okay, knock on wood. Hopefully, this will last another 10 years. That's just wishful thinking, though. Hopefully it helps, Jay Tots. So send us a DM or because I don't know how you get to it on Instagram. I think if you click up there, similar to TikTok, you click up there, then you'll get the link. You'll see the link. You're welcome, Bernadette. By the way, folks, whether you talked to one of our team members before or I was able to answer your question here, we greatly appreciate your feedback about our customer service, even if you're not a client. We greatly appreciate it. You can go to review www.reviewtinglaw.com. Okay. And scrolling down below there on Facebook and YouTube. All righty. Sammy, your I-130 is approved and you've been waiting for your process, EB3. Your priority date is October 4th, 2022. Well, let's double check. I just had the visa bulletin open earlier. Okay, let me double check here. So I'm looking at the May bulletin. Are you in the US? Or you're here on like H-1B, for example, Sammy? I'm asking these questions. I realize it's pretty difficult to scroll all the way down. I wish there was like a button that you could scroll down automatically all the way. That'd be up and down. That'd be quicker. TikTok. If you want me to stay on TikTok, you gotta do this. Alrighty. Let's see here. By the way, who's disappointed about Congress right now? Mention and comment. Mention and share your feedback. What do you think? Like Congress. I mean, I'll share my feedback real quick as I'm looking this up on the Visa Bulletin. Congress is a piece of shit. Okay. POS. I'm sorry if you got friends in high and elected official, but in general, they're POS. They finally have a bipartisan agreement that even President Biden signed, and they claim that it's a concern for national security. Look, my quick take is look, if this is really truly a national security concern, you would believe reasonably that they would just shut it down. But look, I saw in the news that the person who drafted the language, I don't even remember the name now, but drafted language of this particular TikTok ban bill bought stock in the other social media platform. And I'm not going to say out loud, but I think you can guess. Bought stock in that company like 4 or 5 different times since drafting that language in that bill, TikTok ban. So very frustrating. um, Look, y'all, if I'm not able to get to your question, just to be just straight, I mean, I appreciate the question, but you can join live. And next time, if I don't get to you, please know I have like 3 or 4 different platforms, and I'll try my best to get to you as I humanly can. Um, let's see here. But the Sammy's question, I-140 is approved, but you say your priority date is October. Well, what's your EB3? Okay. Are you in the United States or out? Okay, well, let's just make a safe assumption that you're outside the United States. Okay. I need to know the category and what country you're located at or nationality. So I don't know that, but let me just make assumption is not China, India, Mexico, or Philippines. Then EB3, not including the other workers, but it's November 2022. Okay, yours is October 2022. Okay, so this is final action date. But if you're in the US, then you follow Chart B, and that is February 2023. Okay, now, Sammy, they're not gonna, USCIS is not gonna, if you're in the United States, I highly doubt that they're gonna email you or send you a notice. That'd be great, but that's why, I mean, I'm assuming your company has an attorney to help you. Because right now, for chart B, if you're in the US, that's a chart to use. It shows all other countries February 1st, 2023 for category 3. Now, if you're other workers, then that's different because other workers chart B shows December 2020. So then you would have about at least 2 years away. But that's the thing, folks. This situation, like it's hard for me to go up and down. That's what I'm talking about. I would love to be able to do that if they just had an easy button. So I appreciate you, y'all commenting again. It's easier on Facebook because I mean, YouTube and Facebook because I don't get as many people here live, but I can use my mouse at least. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, it takes a lot of Test 007 is USCIS taking biometrics every year or 1.5 years? I believe it's 18 months in general, but it may depend on the workflow of if you file another application. Okay, Raj, can I elaborate on the INA 245K? I can tell you right off the bat that's a like a webinar type question. Does USCIS only look at the work violation after entry? Yeah, after last entry, as far as I know. But if you type in 245K, it's pretty thorough. They actually give a lot of examples on that. If you type in 245K USCIS Google search, it will take you straight. It should take you straight to a policy manual page, and so you can double check that. Okay, because we've had cases approved and that there were prior immigration violations, but they didn't count it against them after legal entry. Or I mean, if when that was before the last most recent entry. Okay, Authorine Richards. USC has received your 824 since April. Losing my voice here. 2023. Still didn't hear anything. What's next? Okay, so still didn't hear anything. Well, it's been about a year. Okay, we're in 2024 April, almost in May. Yeah, 824. Let me see if I can check the processing time. Processing time, 824, real quick. It's, I'm trying to check once a month and I try and memorize it, but 824. Okay. Okay, folks, here's as I'm pulling this up, which server center are you at, Authorine? If you're able to respond. Okay. Um, Joel, and folks, I'm gonna just put it straight to you. No one is entitled to get a question. I do not intentionally skip anyone. Okay. I'm literally going through all these different social media platforms. I will get to you soon if I can, but like I need to answer this one question now that I already got to it. Um, let's see. See, that's the thing. Let's see. Comments like that throw me off, and I'm slowing me down here. So please don't tell me that I skipped your question. I yeah, it throws me off. USC has received 824 since April 7th. Still didn't hear anything. So, okay. Where's your service center? Okay. Thoreen Richards. Because at California service center is 4.5 months. But other ones like Nebraska, they take longer generally. Oh, Nebraska says 4.5 months. Let me check Vermont. Okay, Vermont is showed 14 months for a hot second, and then there's a glitch and it went away. Okay, let's see here. Now let me get the Joel. You filed the N400 and submitted in April 24th. Okay, that's 5 days ago. Okay, your question is not even that urgent, Joel. And okay, do you think that is a good sign? Man, yeah, that's a good sign. But good sign of what? What are you asking for? Good sign of approval? No, that's not a good sign of approval. Good sign they received your case? Yeah, because you got the receipt notice. You got the biometric notice. They reused it, so that's great. But is that a good sign to approval for N400? No, certainly not. It's just part of the process for anyone, whether they're going to get denied in future or not. Unless you meant a different question, but hopefully that helps you. Okay, next person. All right, thanks so much for your trust. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you solve your immigration problem, maybe prevent that problem from happening in the first place, folks. Okay, so if you have not filed your application, maybe for example you're getting married to a U.S. citizen, and you absolutely know you want peace of mind, it'd be our pleasure. But first, check out our Google reviews, okay? Before you step off this channel, subscribe, follow on your respective channel, follow for more, and answer a few questions. And after you answer a few questions, you can self-schedule a meeting with our client care specialist. They're really good at their jobs. I train them literally every day to verify. Now they can't provide you legal advice. Legal advice, I think it's some people have been mistaken because some lawyers do it really the incorrect way. To get legal advice, okay, one on one for your situation, technically, you have to authorize the legal team. So that means review a quote and sign up. Okay, that's really what it is. And here it is because Texas ethics, there's an ethics opinion. I'll just put it out there. This is why you might ask, like, oh, why do some lawyers do this or do not do this? There's an ethics opinion in Texas that if lawyers provide a consultation, right, makes sense. You can rely on that advice. Makes sense. I totally get it. But if lawyers are going to do that and somehow on accident, I mean, I believe I'm providing all the accurate information. But if we get a complaint and they because they end up people do end up do it themselves, then it wasn't worth it to offer consultation. So it really makes sense that you sign up if you want that peace of mind. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Lizette, can husband submit paperwork to sponsor parents after he passes his naturalization test or the oath? It's the oath. Okay, technically, because you need that certificate. Okay. Like cases like that, we have our clients that we help with a green card, let's see, residency, and become a citizen. Um, we go ahead and I mean, not file, but prepare the case. And then we don't file it until the client has the certificate of naturalization. Okay. Okay. Yes, see, submitted 485, 765, I-130 with PD, January 19th. 765 standalone approved April 14th, but USCIS online account isn't updating. Yeah. Um, that's great. Your work permit got approved, but I don't know what you mean isn't updating. Are you expecting? So typically, USCIS. I mean, I don't check the case status myself anymore. I have team members that do that. So, but I recall in the past, at least for work permit, they provide after the approval, they provide like the USPS tracking number, but that's only with the work permit. They don't do that for the resident card. I don't understand why. You would think they do that, but they don't. Um, you received an approval in the mail. Is that normal? Approval of what? The 765? Will you still receive the EAD? Of course you will. It's just not in the same. Again, this is an example of USCIS world superpower. You would think they can consolidate the mailing, like the paper notice and the actual card, but they don't. And I think part of it, realistically, uh, is more about the workflow. Like which office actually produces the work permit? Which office actually is in charge of producing the green card, the resident card? Is not the same office. Clearly not the same office that hits the easy button to issue the approval notice. So unfortunately, but yeah, you'll get the work permit separately. Generally 1 to 5 weeks after. All right, that sounds good. But you submitted also with PD, January 19th. What do you mean PD? You talk about prosecutorial discretion through court. Um, if you mean PD in that sense, did you get the court case dismissed? Because if you didn't get dismissed, then the court's not going to make a decision on your motion to dismiss. I'm sorry, USCIS is not going to make a decision on your 485 if you still have a court proceeding open. It still says being reviewed. What says being reviewed? Online account for the 765. Again, that's that. Thank you for sharing that experience. Yeah, it's just yeah, they don't have their shit together. I mean, you would think so, right? I mean, world superpower, they could figure that out. I mean, hey, the case processing timetable online seems fairly accurate. Is it accurate for everyone? Definitely not. Some people get approved sooner. Some people still waiting. All right, let me hop on over here. Garcia Ale on TikTok. Let me see if I can pin the comment. Okay, great. A husband's case was taking longer than expected. since they received the RFE medical in November, now says 26 months. That is ridiculous. 26 months. So another example, folks, of how the USCIS case status on your My USCIS account means nothing. I hate to say it. The only time it means something is when you get the RFE or NOID or the receipt notice or biometrics notice. But the actual, like, the verbiage online, 26 months, whatever the timetable they give you 1 week, and it bumps back to like 2 months, 3 months. It's not accurate, folks. Okay. I'm sorry. I wish that was the case. I wish it was accurate for us, especially for lawyers, because y'all ask us, of course. um, So, in general, some of y'all have asked us questions. Can we help with this or that, this kind of case application? We generally help with every application except asylum at this time, okay? And we do not help with humanitarian parole, but we pretty much help with every application. Yes, we do accept clients who live in a different state, different country. Absolutely. Fortunately, with USCIS, they relaxed, waived the rule about having like original signatures, so we don't have to mail that in. But we do have video meetings, kind of like how we're doing it here. Okay. Um, so I can answer one more question, and please hop on live tomorrow. I'm going out of town for the rest of the week, so I know I can go live tomorrow. Send us a DM, because especially if you're not going to remember your question, send me a DM on your respective platform. Sexy, sexy summer. Filed a petition at 485 along with 765 in January. Okay, great. You got your EAD in February, but your case status for the I-130 is saying 5 months before decision. Is that normal? Um, yeah, it is in general for the saying 5 months. Yeah, it's normal, but you filed 485, so so yeah, it's normal in that sense. But if it takes a little longer, that could happen since you've but if it takes more than 18 months, then that's when you definitely need to be concerned. But it sounds like you just got this started in January. I'm glad you got the EAD in February. That's quick. That's good. Congratulations. All righty, folks. I have to prepare for another meeting. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you just asked a question, please join us live tomorrow. Okay. On your respective platform. And we'll see you on the next one. Y'all take care. Bye bye. Y'all know what to do. Okay, if y'all not paying attention, can you do now that you're there? You go. Thank you.